Welcome to Toy Polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from Toy Polloi, and today we're going to be looking at these vintage 1983 Tomy wind-up Doozers from Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock. Now, as a child I absolutely loved the Fraggle Rock show. I'm not sure why it captured me so much, but I remember waking up early Saturday mornings to watch Fraggle Rock on the TV, and I would collect everything and anything to do with the show. I'd buy magazines and newspapers if they had a single image from the show so I could cut it out and put it in a scrapbook. And here in front of me are a selection of toys that I remember vividly having and have only recently got back in my collection. The main ones being the 4 wind-up Doozers in the middle. So let's take a closer look at those and I'll show you some more things from my collection. Tomy made 4 different Doozers to go along with the show. As you can see here, we have all 4 of them. They each have a different coloured helmet. So we've got an orange one, a yellow one, a red one and a purple one. The belts that they wear across their chest are slightly different. So you have one here which just has a single belt going across his chest, and then there's another version which has this double belt there. One of them also comes with a selection of vinyl hair. As you can see here, it just sort of sticks out underneath the helmet. And we have one with the red helmet here which has a moustache, and we can assume that he is the boss of the Doozers just because he has that moustache, and it also shows him on the back of the card, which again we will look at in a second. Now, these are fairly simple little toys. They don't do a great deal. You can rotate their arms a little bit, you can't rotate their heads, and then they have the wind-up mechanism built inside it. So they're fairly simple and not particularly poseable, but the wind-up mechanism is particularly nice on them. So let's wind up the boss Doozer here and we'll see him going. So you give it a few turns like that. So there you go, you can see he walks quite convincingly. I think Tomy were particularly good at making little wind-up toys like this, so they really knew what they were doing. And if you have a whole selection of these Doozers and have them walking together, which is what I did as a child, they really look quite impressive. I'll just let him wind down here a bit because once they're going, it doesn't stop at all. There's no way of stopping them apart from just letting them unwind like this. If we take a look at the carded version that I have here, you can see on the front it says wind up the Doozer and watch him march. As I just showed you, they really do march particularly well. These are made by Tomy, as you can see in the bottom, and it is from Jim Henson's Muppets Fraggle Rock. If we turn it over, there's quite a little bit of text, so I'll read that out to you. It says, Fraggle Rock is a special place that exists just beyond everyday reality. Fraggles are a race of colourful, furry creatures with boundless energy and enthusiasm. They love to sing and dance, wear silly hats, cheer and explore. Doozers love to work, an army of tiny workmen who sing and chant. They build elaborate constructions which Fraggles then eat, so Doozers can build some more. Knee-high to a Fraggle, Doozers are round little creatures with tiny eyes and puffy noses. You'll want to collect all the wind-up Doozers. And I did. Certainly as a child, I bought all 4 of these. I think I ended up with 5 in the end. I can't remember exactly how much they were, but I did sort of pick them up. I'm thinking only a couple of pounds, because it would have been sort of pocket money prices for me to buy them. They all came on exactly the same card. You just got a different Doozer inside the packet here. And the reason I said that I thought the guy with the moustache was the boss, because on the back you can see there's this nice little illustration, and you've got the moustache one at the front there walking along with all the others following him. So I always assumed as a child that that's why he was the boss, because he had the moustache. As I say, I was absolutely obsessed with Fraggle Rock as a child, and I even made my own Doozers because I only had a few of these to play with. I wanted more because in Fraggle Rock the show you saw loads of them sort of on their constructions in the background all the time, so I thought I would make them, and a few of those have survived to today. My mum has some, and actually here at Toy Polloi I have a couple left that you can see here. These are made out of felt and are stuck together with copy decks, so I've sewn bits of them, and you can see the gloves have been glued on, which is why after, well, almost 40 years they are looking a little bit tatty. The glue has gone very brown and stained, but these were handmade by me all that time ago, just using simple bits of felt and stuffing, and it's amazing that they have survived all of this time. At some point they would have had helmets, again made out of felt. I'm not quite sure why those have gone over the years. They must have been lost just sort of yeah, over time they've sort of fallen off and got lost, so all I have left are these remains of the Doozers. But if you think these are small, check out this one, because I also made this tiny little thing which is barely 3 centimeters tall, and you can see he's even got little sort of antenna on the side, and he's falling apart a little bit, but I'm quite impressed that I was actually able to make something this tiny. I don't think I'd be able to make anything that small nowadays. But this is what I used to make. I probably had sort of 10 or 15 of them handmade like this, and so I could then build dioramas and have the sort of shop-bought Doozers at the front, and these little guys sort of manning the background. And yeah, as you can see, they don't look too bad. Even sort of all these years later, I think they are quite impressive for things that have been handmade. As well as the Tomy Doozers, I also had these, which are made by a company called Schleck. They are the same company that makes Smurfs, so these are exactly the same sort of sizes as Smurfs. And I had quite a few of these. I had these three, and then they made some other sort of Fraggle figures. So I had Uncle Travelling Matt and Wembley and that. And recently I managed to get all of these back in. So we have here a Doozer sitting drinking a cup of coffee or something like that. Then we have this sort of Foreman Doozer again, because he's got a little moustache on, talking into his walkie-talkie, giving orders to someone else. And then we have this guy using a pneumatic drill or something like that. I always thought it was a pneumatic drill, but it's not quite how I would have expected it to be held, but I assume that is what they are trying to show there. So these were other ones that I absolutely loved having as a child, and again, sadly sort of sold them off. So it's only recently that I've managed to get these back into my collection, along with the wind-up Doozers. It took me quite a long time to re-get these into my collection, because every time I was sort of looking on eBay trying to find them, they always tended to go for quite a lot of money. So it was only recently I managed to find an auction where I bought 3 of them, and that was the start of my collection. And I posted a quick video about getting a Grail item back in my collection, and from that some fans and followers of Toy Polloi got in touch saying that they had the missing ones that I needed, which is why I've ended up with the full set of them. And I'll give thanks to all the people who've helped me out finishing this collection at the end of the video. So I'm really pleased to get these back. They're exactly how I remember them, and they are exactly sort of what I wanted. They are so simple and sort of nicely designed. I just think they are perfect little toys. They do have a couple of issues now with age. These belts that they have around them are sort of starting to get quite brittle, and I've had to repair a couple of them. They tend to snap. This sort of flexible plastic gets quite brittle with time, and so yeah, you just have to handle them with care. But the rest of the toys, you know, are pretty sturdy. They're made out of quite a nice plastic, quite firm. The wind-up mechanism seems to work on most of them. I've got one here where it doesn't work, but I reckon if I took him apart I could easily get that going. It just feels like that this wind-up post here is slipping inside, so I reckon it's just come a bit loose and needs a small amount of repair. Otherwise though, they all seem to work, and yeah, considering these are so old, it's quite an impressive feat that things like this and the wind-up mechanism still works. So this is my full collection of Doozers now, and as I say, these were a Grail item that I wanted to get back in my collection after having stupidly sold them off about sort of 15-20 years ago when I first got back into collecting in my 20s. So I'm really pleased to have them all back here, and these will be going on display in my main collection, so you'll most likely see them on the shelf behind me when I film myself in Toy Polloi here. And I do need to say a massive thank you to a few people for helping me sort of complete this collection so quickly. First up, I need to say a big thank you to Jacob, who I did a trade with, and he traded me a couple of the Schleck figures. Then I need to say a big thank you to Steve from Toy With It, because we did a collaboration video recently, and when he returned some action men that I'd lent him, he actually included a complete set of the Schleck figures, so I now have a full set of those. I need to say a massive thank you to James, who I meet at the local Shepton Toy Fair, because he very kindly sent me the 2 Doozers that I was missing, the Tomy Doozers, so a massive thank you to him. And also to Mark from the Retro Toy Shop on Instagram, because he very kindly sent me this carded version of the Doozer, so that was a real surprise when that turned up here. So a big thanks to all of those guys for helping me complete this collection. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the sort of toys I have here at Toy Polloi. They're sort of quite naive and quite childish looking things, but I really like them, and they bring back so many memories of my time playing with them as a child, and as you saw, my time making my own Doozers to play with as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this little sort of trip down my memories to my childhood and the toys that I played with. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching Toy Polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow Toy Polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.